Hi, everybody. This is Jessica, the Enneagram Life Coach, and today I wanted to go over a video about false beliefs held by each of the 9 types. So, in fields of study like math or science, engineering, there are things called axioms, which are foundational truths that are assumed to be true, that it's no longer even necessary to prove because we're all starting with those assumptions, basic assumptions. And so we all agree on those and you can move forward from there. So it's a belief structure or a premise that's original and not in need of any defense or explanation because it's just, everybody just knows that's true. So an example of one of those would be you can connect any 2 points with a straight line. Great, we can all agree on that, right? Not too challenging. The trouble is that human personality is not as straightforward and easy to measure and define and explain as science and math. So what ends up happening is all of us, according to our personality or our Enneagram type, make certain assumptions and have foundational beliefs about the world that not only are they not true, which is a problem in and of itself, but on top of that, we assume that other people are also holding these same assumptions, and they're not. So occasionally, you will come across somebody who is your same Enneagram type. Okay, well, then they have similar axioms that you do. But when you're dealing with somebody who's not your type, which is going to be what you're mostly doing when you're dealing with your friends and family and kids and spouses and siblings, it will be better for you to understand we're not all coming from the same place. So I'm going to read through a list of some axioms that I have written down for each Enneagram type. And if you are this type, you may have the sensation that this is true, but it's not true. These things I'm saying are not true. There is some truth to them. There are parts of them that are true some of the time. But these are certainly not true all of the time, though when you are in the personality grip of any of these 9 types, it will seem like these are true. Okay, so type 1. Ones tend to think that so much depends on them that they have to be fully responsible and they don't have time to play because everything's just going to fall apart if they take a break. They also have a false belief that mistakes are not okay. It is completely unacceptable to make a mistake. Or the flip of that is everything has to be done completely flawlessly. And another one is I make less mistakes than other people. I make fewer mistakes than other people make. I remember one time I was coaching a 1 and I mentioned that people often experience 1s as being very critical. And the 1 told me that they had not criticized somebody for over 20 years. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Okay, type 2. I can win anyone over to like me. I know what others need, even when they don't know what they need. I can't think of any faults that I have. Can't think of any. Type 3s often fall into a false belief that you are the image you project. If other people believe that you are the thing, then voila, you are the thing. With the thing with the self-deceit that goes on at 3 is sometimes I think they are blatantly deceitful, but sometimes they're also so self-deceived that they don't even know like how far off they are type thing. Like they don't even realize that everybody can see through it because with 3s, we can see through it. So it's like your performance defines you for a 3. You are only loved for what you achieve or for how great you are in any given field, like your specific field, that somehow your value is increased by your performance or your image. Also, threes often believe, I kind of put it as a fill in a blank sentence, but I'll give you an example. It's like, if I buy the thing, fill in the blank, then I am automatically a fill in the blank. It's like, if I buy a yoga mat, I'm automatically a yogi. I'm not sure with threes, because I don't connect and relate to three very much, but I don't know if because they're real fake it till you make it types. So it can feel to a three like, oh, if I put on tapping shoes, I'm a tap dancer. Ta-da! It's like they don't always know that there are other things you have to do other than just projecting an image of that type of thing to be whatever it is. Like in any area of expertise, people aren't just dressing like that, or they're not just like having one item like a yoga mat and then all of a sudden they know yoga. Like there are steps to do. And threes are really kind of known for cutting corners sometimes to get to the goal. So like if the goal is to be a yogi, then it's like, oh yeah, I buy a yoga mat and then I'm a yogi. They sometimes don't seem to think there are like in between steps. And then also, which further confounds me, is they then think that other people believe them when they say it, and we don't believe it. For some false beliefs, I am more unique than everyone else, or my suffering is so profound, nobody could ever understand this level of suffering because my suffering is so unique. My emotions define me. It's very similar to the way a three does my success defines me. With four, they get attached to their emotions, and whatever they are feeling, whatever that overwhelming feeling they have is, rather than saying, I have this feeling, I have sadness, it's like, I am sadness. I am defined by my sadness. And then with four, they can try to like bolster that feeling of sadness, elongate it, prolong it unnecessarily. But that's because it feels like they're going to lose who they are. Again, these are false axioms, but it feels like they're going to lose who they are, the essence of themselves, if they were to somehow release that emotion. Right? Where the rest of us can sometimes be a little better at emotions coming and going. Like they're not permanent, and they certainly don't define us like forevermore. The mundane is unacceptable. That's another one at point 4. Ordinary life is not satisfactory. Of course, the problem with that is most of life is ordinary life. You cannot live this life without having the ordinary, because that's what makes it ordinary. So it's a false belief that if you're having an ordinary life, that you are somehow not in a place where you can have joy. Okay, type 5, we're over into head types now. Data is supreme, right? 5s get stuck in information, and it's like an idol to them. It's like everything is information. Anything that is anything is information, or is communicable in information. And if you can't communicate it, is it very much like science, right? If you can't communicate it, measure it, define it, explain it, then it's not real. But that's not true. 5s sometimes think they can figure anything out. They have the information, like if they can get the information, they can solve anything. And some things just aren't solvable. Or, some things aren't even in the category of being solvable. Some things are, right? If it's a math problem, okay. But relationships don't operate in solvable terms like that. 5s also can believe that they can live well without any other humans. They have such a strong pull towards autonomy that it feels to them that they actually could do just fine without any other input from any people. And that's not true. You need people to do all kinds of things. The infrastructure you live in, the food that you eat, the home that you live in, the people who fed you as a child, your neighbors, your friends, your family, your loved ones, like we need that. All right, type 6s. I am always prepared. False. You can't always be prepared, because by definition, we are preparing for the future, and nobody knows the future. So you can't always be prepared. You can be somewhat prepared to some extent, but you cannot ever be fully prepared. Another 6 false belief is I can see trouble coming from a mile away. Sometimes you can, but sometimes trouble just shows up all by itself without even any warning signs. Or sometimes something looks like trouble, maybe especially in somebody else's life, and you believe you're just sure that this is going to amount for trouble for them, and it doesn't. And you're baffled because you were just sure that was not for them, that was trouble, but maybe they know better for themselves than you do, right? So like 6s, they get latched onto the way they see the world in terms of like belief structures, looking for certainty. Let's see, here's another one. I only trust people, concepts, or systems that I can be certain of. Right? What's wrong about that statement is there really aren't any people that you can be certain of, right? Because everybody's going to let you down at some point. Concepts or systems, and also we learn new things, right? Like even as humans, we evolve, our knowledge evolves, we change what we think about the universe and health and the human body and psychology, even to some extent Enneagram, right? Because we used to think you couldn't change, but now we know, oh, the brain is plastic, you can change. So let's move on. 7, this is my number. I can make every day delightful and avoid enduring pain. I put enduring pain there because I think I used to feel like, oh yeah, I might stub my toe, but I'll get over that, right? Because that's just like bodily pain, like temporary bodily pain. But then I would be like, oh, but yeah, long-term pain. Oh no, I'm not going to hold that. I'm not going to sit with that. Well, some things like grief are not going to go away. There's going to be enduring pain. And even though I can have some delight in every day, that's for sure, I cannot make every day only delightful, even though it feels like I can. But I know that now to be not true. Another one for 7, I can get anything I want. That's a crazy one. It's really true. 7's like, oh yeah, I could get that. I could have that. I could be that. Especially, it's like, oh, if anybody's really good at whatever they're good at, oh yeah, I could be really good at that too. It's like, could you though? I don't know. They've got thousands of hours of study and practice into that. You're really sure, 7? Oh yeah, I could do that. Good for you. High five, 7. Another one at 7. Oh, everyone wants to laugh and have fun. Do you know that's not true? I mean, that is shocking to me. Who doesn't want to laugh and have fun? But it turns out there's a lot of people who do not want to laugh and have fun. Or also like who do not want to laugh and have fun all the time. Because to a 7, it feels like, let's just laugh and have fun all of the time, no matter what. Some people don't like that. And the 7 assumption is that everyone wants that because the 7 wants that. Oh, so crazy. Everyone doesn't want that. All right, type 8. Everything that I have is a result of me and my hard work. No, it's not. You have worked hard, 8. We know you have. And hundreds and thousands of people have helped you to get where you are. Similar to 5, right? There's a 8 and 5 connect. You love to think you're an autonomous beast. And in some ways you are, to an extent. But no. Everything you have is not just because of you. You have had supporters. You have had lots of supporters and lots of help. Here's another one at 8. I tell people what they need to hear. And that kind of links them to 2, right? 2 and 8 also have a line where 2s believe they know what's best for everyone. 8s believe they know what everyone needs to hear. So that's why they're so blunt and forthcoming. But even about you and your life. They will tell you what you need to do with your life. And they're dead serious that they know. Of course, which is just complete folly, right? Like, if you don't know this is worthy to repeat. And I say this a lot to my clients on coaching calls. I do coaching calls, by the way. Great discount deals. You are the only person who is best equipped to make decisions for your own life. You know yourself and your God better than anyone else. I'm not saying don't listen to other people, don't take, their considerations, but every person needs to deal with their own situation because they know their situation better than everyone else. Right? So when an 8 comes in and thinks they can speak to your situation, not enough information. Another one at 8, being slow, soft, or passive is bad. Not true. Sometimes there's a time to be slow and soft and passive. Another one at 8, I will always get my way in negotiations. 8s are wired to make a deal and even to make good deals for other people and for themselves. To create win-win situations is definitely a strength that 8s do have, for sure. Don't want to take that from them. The delusion is when an 8 thinks that they will always come out of every deal on top, or in retrospect, they'll often still make themselves the winner, even when it's clear that they did not get the good end of the deal. Like in their minds, they always win. Or I don't know win is the word, but they will always come out in negotiations. You can't. Nobody can win every negotiation 100% of the time. It's just not possible. Okay, 9. Experiencing peace. I'm reading notes, by the way. I do take notes before some of these. Okay. Experiencing peace is most important. Peace is important, right? But it's not most important and not all the time. The inverse of that is conflict is bad. No, right? Conflict is necessary. You can still have peace even in conflict, by the way. When you know that you are saying what needs to be said or holding the line that needs to be held, you can still have a peace about it, even in the midst of the conflict, right? And conflict is simply stating another view, right? Which if we never had conflicts, nobody would ever be able to grow. Personal conflicts or conflicts in relationships or in the world. So there is a time for conflict and there is a time for peace, and they're not even mutually exclusive. But to a 9, it feels different. Another one at 9, other people care more and have stronger emotions. Not true. I know if you're 9, you're like, what? I think a better way to say it is 9s have learned to turn themselves down and to mute their emotions and feelings. And they've done that for however many decades of their life, to where they've just convinced themselves, oh, it's okay, they care more about that than I do. No, humans care about things equally. If you don't care, it's because you've gone to sleep to it. Last one for 9. This one's funny. Nothing ever gets to me. Some things get to all of us. There's no way to live a life in which nothing ever gets to you. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you got anything out of this, please like and share, and notice your own axioms from your Enneagram type, but also your wings. You might relate to some of those, or your lines, the lines that your number connects to on the Enneagram symbol. I will be back soon with another video. Thanks for watching.